So this is your first time ever on a motorcycle, and I can tell you from my own experience, it's completely scary because this thing is heavy. This is a 2015 Harley Davidson Road King Police Edition. So pretty heavy, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna help you get over the fear of falling, because that is probably the thing that everybody is the most afraid of. See, fear is false evidence appearing real. So you imagine what it's going to be like, but you don't know what it's going to be like. And the anticipation of what it's going to be like is more scary than the actual doing it. So if we just get that out of the way, then we can actually get on to learning how to ride a motorcycle. Okay, so this is one of the huge payoffs of learning how to ride your bike and maneuver it at slow speeds. Because I'm on the grass here, and for me to try and move my bike, I'm big and I can't do it. So if you're small, I get why you wouldn't want to ride a motorcycle this big, because you can't move it. But you can if you're small and you're skilled.
And you can ride a bigger motorcycle like our motorcycles. Like, you're sitting on a power plant of tremendous power, and you're giving all that up and trying to hold it up and walk it around and maneuver it with your own body strength. The thing has enough strength for all of us. You just got to learn how to use that strength and move that bike around, for sure.
So I'm going to turn my wheel. I'm going to keep my bike straight up, okay? And I'm going to just go forward, okay? So make sure you're in first gear. Cover the rear brake. I got to lean it a little bit this way because I'm on a little bit of an incline. I'm going to bring the throttle up into preload, and then I'm going to drive. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. That's the payoff. That's what you get. You can maneuver your bike in tight quarters when you have these skills, and that's what I'm going to make sure that you practice enough. I'm not going to teach you all these skills because there's lots of people out there that teach. What I'm doing is I'm going to be your accountability partner, and I'm going to make sure that you practice 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day on specific things that are going to get you to the point where you can do that. So if you were one of my best friends and I was teaching you how to ride a motorcycle, this is what I would have her do. We got a little bit of an obstacle course here, but this is why you have skills, right? So I'm going to turn her on, and I'm just going to go over there and put my bike on a blanket on the flat ground on the grass that I have already spread out. I don't like to back my bike up, so what do? I learn how to turn from a turning position and then just go forward. Now I'm going to go between that trailer and the car. So if you can do that, you're pretty skilled. I couldn't do that when I first started riding my motorcycle. And then I'm going to just ride it up onto this blanket. This is my promise to you, if you go through this challenge, is that you are so skilled and in control of your motorcycle that you can do what I just did over there. Turn it, weave through that, do a circle in your driveway if you need to, do a U-turn right there in an 18-foot street. Why? Because you know how to operate your bike at slow speeds, which is when we need to be 100% responsible for what it does. I want you to get used to the sensation of where you need to be sitting when you're doing slow speed maneuvers, because falling during slow speed maneuvers is the scariest part, or the anticipation of falling is the scariest part. So what I'm going to do, I'm literally going to put my feet up on the boards, and let the bike fall over. And then I'm going to tip it a little and let it fall over from the tipping position, just so you can see the difference. No one ever taught me this to start, and I think it would be helpful, and at least if you were my friend, I would start you this way. Our neighbors are going to be like, what is she doing?
In today's world, we can gain control of a lot of things that hit us, and we can think of strategies which are much more effective and much more adaptive.
So I survived my first fall. When you're leaning the bike, the closer it gets to the ground, it's your threshold. It's your fear threshold, tolerance level of how far can I lean before I don't have the amygdala brain go into full-fledged salvation mode and want to prevent the bike from falling.
This is a skill, which means it's something that we can build up to.
If you have the bike fall over, you're not going to hold it up, so don't try. The most hurt you can get is from trying to stop your bike from falling over. So you don't want to put your foot down. Now I know that's instinct, and our mentor, Robert Simmons, says everything you do on a motorcycle with your instincts, if you're relying on instincts, is going to be the exact opposite of what you want to do in that situation on your motorcycle. So how do we break instincts? We have to practice. We have to through repetition, retrain our brain so that it knows the difference and it doesn't go into save me mode. It actually goes, oh, I'm tipping over. Remember what to do. Make sure I'm leaning forward. Make sure my feet stay on the boards. And you can literally lean to this side. When you're up this far, you really can hold on and stay on the bike. It's remarkable. It's the most amazing feeling in the world. And I want you to get that it's not a bad thing to drop your motorcycle. It's not something to be embarrassed about. It's actually something that tells me that you're practicing.
In treating this as a skill, we can start to get reps in practice, feeling fear and volunteering for the project a little bit outside of our comfort zone. The more that we do that, we're building that muscle for the bigger leaps we'll make later. The idea is to be aware of the process and aware of our choices and work to spend a little more time outside of our comfort zone. And that is something that we can all do.
And if you're practicing, it means you respect the danger of this motorcycle and you respect the things that can happen out there that you can't prevent and you can't anticipate. You have no idea what people are capable of. So if you can't handle this 800-pound beast, then you're putting yourself in danger. And that's the whole reason that I'm doing these videos. I am so passionate about riding a motorcycle, and I came from such a fearful place where my amygdala is like on full alert, just holding the handlebars without the bike even starting. Okay, it was that scary for me. So to take my endorsement test or to ride up and down this street on a motorcycle was absolutely terrifying. And I honestly believe that if you get the falling part over with first, you're not going to be so afraid of it. Because you're going to know what it feels like. It's not going to be this. See, fear is false evidence appearing real. So you imagine what it's going to be like, but you don't know what it's going to be like. And the anticipation of what it's going to be like is more scary than the actual doing it. But it takes practice. The first time you do anything, you're not going to be good at it, okay? So that was the first time you got to see me do something on my motorcycle. We don't know what's going to happen. And I want to stress that point. And I want you to see all the things that I didn't think about. I thought to put the blanket down because I didn't want it to get all dirty. Actually, my husband thought of that. What I'm saying is, I want you to understand that you don't want to rely on it's never going to happen to me, or I'll find out when it happens. Those two things should never be in the equation on a motorcycle. You know, if it's something else, it's fine, but a motorcycle is different. It's dangerous. Motorcycles make you think you're invincible. It's almost like as soon as you pull that throttle and you hear that noise, It injects "I'm invincible" into you. But if you don't have the skills to back that attitude up, and you're just riding thinking you're, cool or powerful, it does give you that feeling of being powerful, and you're not really competent, then you could run into some situations that you didn't plan. So I just really want to stress that. And I also want to talk about why our mentor Robert Simmons says if you're going to learn how to ride a motorcycle, no matter what size you are, it's best to learn on a bike that has these qualities: engine guards, rear guards, and footboards. And the reason I say that is because if you learn to fall on it properly and you are small, I'm telling you, if you're small, you probably wouldn't have fallen off. We're going to experiment when I teach my friend Noreen how to ride a motorcycle, because this is my first exercise I'm going to do with her. So if you're small, don't be afraid of a big bike. You're going to be more protected on a big bike. And when you learn the skills that we're going to be going over, you could be any size and have complete 100.
And you can ride a bigger motorcycle like our motorcycles. Like, you're sitting on a power plant of tremendous power, and you're giving all that up and trying to hold it up and walk it around and maneuver it with your own body strength. The thing has enough strength for all of us. You just got to learn how to use that strength and move that bike around, for sure.
This is my promise to you. If you go through this challenge, is that you are so skilled and in control of your motorcycle that you can do what I just did over there. Turn it, weave through that, do a circle in your driveway if you need to, do a U-turn right there in an 18-foot street. Why? Because you know how to operate your bike at slow speeds, which is when we need to be 100% responsible for what it does. And as Robert says, the only things you need are your hands. So it doesn't matter how big you are, if you have hands that work, you can ride any size motorcycle, because you're going to use your clutch and you're going to use the throttle and you're going to use your rear brake. So you need a foot. Okay? So you're not going to be manhandling this bike ever, and you're never going to see me manhandle my bike unless I'm showing you what manhandling it looks like versus being in complete control looks like. Like I didn't topple over, I didn't fall, and my heart rate isn't going up, I'm not scared, nothing happened to the bike, nothing happened to me. And that's what I really want to accomplish with this video, is that you get over the fear right away of dropping your bike. It's not a bad thing to drop your bike, and if you drop your bike, it's an indicator of two things. Either you don't practice at all, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you make mistakes every once in a while and you drop your bike, or you're practicing regularly and you're pushing yourself, and guess what? We push ourselves beyond our limits, we drop our bike. And we do that until we establish new limits, okay? So you're going to progress in your skills, and you're going to progress in your courage, and you're going to progress in how much less fear you're going to have of your motorcycle when you practice regularly. But I just want you to get over the fear of dropping your bike and do it in a controlled fashion, so that we're past that step, and then we can get on to the lessons. We're fearing our motorcycle less so we can enjoy the experience of motorcycling more. So let's get on with it. I love you. I want you to love this, and I want you to enjoy it to the max. If you want to fear your motorcycle less and be a more confident rider, join our 10-minute challenge. The link is below in the description.